With the bears showing surprising weakness after only dropping Bitcoin 10% from the highs, lower than the average bull market pullback of 20 to 30%, are the bulls licking their fingers at the opportunity to absolutely cream the bears once more? Or will the bears rip, dip, and absolutely grip the bulls into an absolute smackdown, dumpy, big time? Right now, the price of Bitcoin is continuing to consolidate within the symmetrical triangle, potentially forming the biggest bull flag since the beginning of mankind. But what if I told you that where Bitcoin is right now compared to the last time we were at this actual literal spot is quite honestly amazing, insane, unbelievable, and shocking? So if you understand that over the next few months, Bitcoin's going to go up so high, it will literally leave you shaking and crying. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Get signed up to FEMEX below if you want to buy Bitcoin or altcoins. Join Tyler's Crypto Red Alerts if you also want a chance every 8 hours to earn free PT. Without any further ado, let's absolutely dump in to potentially the biggest chart since the beginning of mankind. So I do want to look at this chart, but first of all, do you know where we are right now compared to the last time we were here? The last time we were at this point in this cycle? Well, we can take a sneak peek here. So this bottom chart is the daily of 2020. This is the weekly of 2020. And on top here, we have the daily of 2024 and the weekly of 2024. And what do you notice right away? So first of all, back in 2020, just like now, we're floating significantly above the 21-week moving average. This is back in 2020. Right here, we're floating significantly above this green line. And this is right now in 2024. And yes, we are significantly above that green line. Now, back in 2020, we had two little dippy-doos below the 21-day moving average. You can see that here and then here. And once you recovered from the second one, Bitcoin recovered massively and went from 20,000 to 40,000. This chart right here is 2020. This is 2024. And these are quite literally the exact same spots of the cycle, but the 4-year difference, right? This right here was right at about 19K right before Bitcoin broke its previous all-time high and started exploding. And right here, this is right at about 69,000. Nice. But granted, this time Bitcoin went a little bit above that earlier. So it is a little different. Bitcoin's basically just more bullish this time. But you can see this is our second dippity doodah below the 21-day moving average since breaking that all-time high, since coming up to that all-time high, just like back here. This is insane. If Bitcoin, is Bitcoin about to basically double in price over the next few weeks, initiate its most upside, most vertical portion of the cycle? I think the chances are that in quarter 2 of 2024, which is the quarter we just started, for the next 3 months, my opinion is that I do believe Bitcoin is going to have its most explosive, Bitcoin specifically, maybe not altcoins, Bitcoin specifically is going to have its most explosive portion of the cycle this quarter, within the next 3 months. I think it's going to get very big, extremely big even, in the next few months. What Bitcoin has to do now, you might be asking yourself, what does it have to do? What does it have to do? Well, we absolutely want to get a daily, a couple daily closes above this 21-day moving average, and then potentially we could repeat something like we did exactly back here, exactly at this price level, exactly at this Fibonacci level, this zone that we were exactly 4 years ago, back in 2020. So that's extremely big. Obviously, we see that we've been tracking this for the past couple of videos. You can see we were within this symmetrical triangle. I think the first time I pointed out Bitcoin was right here. We got a drop and we actually held support there, which to me is incredibly validating because it's pretty much the third touch on this bottom trend line, right? Very big. And Bitcoin is held there. Now, the thing is, will it actually come up to about 70,500, which is where the current resistance would be of this pattern? Or is it going to continue to try to hold support on the bottom here? Is it going to get another rejection kind of in the middle where we are right now and try to hold support there? So before we continue with the charts as well, I want to highlight a few things. So we do see hedge funds are shorting Bitcoin at record levels, potentially giving Bitcoin actually the fuel to liquidate those shorts and go much higher. We all know how many liquidations or how many shorts are piled in around the mid $70,000 range, which if liquidated would give Bitcoin more juice to go even higher. which is absolutely very big. We also see Bitcoin Archive highlighting this, that 500 days since Bitcoin hit the bear market bottom is where we're at. Bitcoin basically bottomed 500 days ago. In 2020, Bitcoin went up over 700% over the next 12 months from that exact same point as well. If Bitcoin repeats this, it will be nearly $500,000 or about $500,000 per Bitcoin by April of next year. Okay, do you think in the next 12 months Bitcoin has the chance of being at 500,000? That's a crazy question. I guess I'll answer my opinion. Do I think that Bitcoin has a chance of being 500,000 by April of next year? I mean, I'm going to be honest. That seems a little bullish, right? I love to be a moon boy. I'm very, very proud to be a moon boy. I'm very proud to be bullish. That seems pretty high. Potentially too high. And I can already read the comments that I'm going to get under this video. Tyler, you're not bullish enough. You're not bullish enough. Hey, you know what? If that ends up happening, I will be happy to say, you know what? I was wrong. I was not bullish enough. But that seems pretty high. That seems pretty high. We'll see. I guess anything's possible. Also, so daily chart for Bitcoin, we're right now trying to get back above the 21-day moving average. This is very big. We're kind of like right on it. Stock market actually is doing pretty good today. DXY is on a 3-day dump episode, right? We're 3 days down after kind of, maybe the DXY actually potentially is double topping here. Is the DXY actually setting a double top? That's very possible. That would be bullish for the stock market and for Bitcoin as well. But we also look at this. So this is Bitcoin. The first chart here is the daily chart. This is a weekly chart, and this is a monthly chart. Monthly chart, extremely bullish. We're actually getting a bullish cross with the 21 crossing back above the 50-month moving average. We crossed bearish here back in October of last year, so about 6 months ago, and now we've just gotten a bullish cross. And this is the first time actually, I think, ever that Bitcoin, this is the first time in history, because Bitcoin was never as dumpy basically as it was in this last bull market in terms of these moving averages. Weekly chart also looks very strong. We got our bullish cross on the weekly chart for Bitcoin back in April of 2023, right? I remember making videos about that, saying, wow, this is extremely bullish, this is extremely big. And yes, we were right about that, because Bitcoin was $28,000 when that happened. Now it's at about basically it is at all-time highs. So that was absolutely an accurate, true indicator. But anyway, here on the daily chart for Bitcoin as well, we haven't quite come down to the 50-day moving average, but right now we're trying to hold back on the 21. And that's exactly why I posted this, or I talked about this, because this did happen in the last bull market, and it did happen right at previous all-time highs when Bitcoin was trying to break them. It did happen. So if Bitcoin, Bitcoin doesn't have to hold above this 50-day, but I think ultimately, basically the point of showing this is that obviously history does not repeat, but it very often rhymes, and this looks so similar in so many ways. Except the only difference is it actually has a sprinkle of even more bullishness, okay? It's even a little more bullish. So calling this big is an understatement. I can't even think of a word as big as what it should be. It's actually a very big situation. Again, this is a 4-hour chart of the same symmetrical triangle. It looks good. We often, you want to make sure, often you can get rejections kind of in the middle of these patterns, which is kind of exactly where we are right now. So if in the short term we get a rejection like today or something, it doesn't mean this pattern is dead or something. But Bitcoin's in a position where still the Bollinger Bands are extremely tight. We haven't seen a release of this juice. The juice is still being pent up, squeezed and squeezed and squeezed, and eventually you can only squeeze something so much before it pops. Wow. I just got myself a little excited there. Do you guys understand how bullish this is? This is very big. And realistically, again, everything looks really good. This latest weekly close we had for Bitcoin was massive. There were people that were getting all scared because the day after we got this weekly close, Bitcoin started moving down a little bit. Look at this chart. Is any of this bearish? No. Wake up. Stop being a baby. Stop crying. This is very bullish for Bitcoin. My honest opinion is that I think Bitcoin is going to be lifting off in the next few weeks. Big time to the upside. Does that mean we might have a dump or more sideways in the immediate short term? Possibly. As I keep saying, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like if you've been holding Bitcoin for the past couple of years and somebody told you, hey, Bitcoin's about to double in price, but you might have to get dumped on for a couple of weeks first. The only sane response to that would be, okay, I don't care. Sounds good, right? Why would you have any other response? Blows my mind. Waiting years for this. And you're going to get shaken out because you might have a little itsy bitsy dump? Are you kidding me? Grow a pair. Stop being a baby. Stop being a baby. Come on. Yeah, stop being a baby. And get signed up at BINGX or BINGX below if you want to buy Bitcoin or altcoins, and also join Tyler's Crypto's Red Alerts to have a chance to win up to 6,000, your share of 6,000 PT every 8 hours. Without further ado,